Addicts, it's Joe at Black Box Silver and Bronze, and I've got a comic haul to share with you. Let's check them out. Hey, comic addicts, it's Joe. I've got a question for you. Did you see Ant-Man Quantumania? I just saw it today, and I was enjoying it until a part, and then like the third act for me was just it collapsed. There was this scene, so spoiler alert. Cassie is fighting MODOK, and she knocks the crap out of him, and then he's laying there defeated, and he's like, I don't know what to do, someone just tell me what to do. And she says, don't be a dick. And then she leaves. And it was like the writing was so horrible. It turned me completely off. It wasn't funny. It was meant to be funny. Nobody in the audience laughed, and I didn't laugh. And then later, he shows up to go against Kang, and he's like, my name's Darren, and I'm not a dick. And then he goes flying in there, and it was like, that should not have been there. It was totally crappy. And I really didn't enjoy it from that point on. But I'm not here to talk about Ant-Man. I'm wondering if you saw it, what your thoughts were on it. I want to show you some great books and also a cool book that I found. I'm a teacher, and last week we do this thing called Winterim, and we were doing some community service. Like instead of having classes, we take the girls out on adventures, and one of them that I was involved in was community service. So on one day we had to go to Walmart to get some things that we were going to take to this nursing home for some activities we were doing. And so while we were there, I saw this book, and then I wound up picking it up on Amazon because it was cheaper. But it's the Ultimate Bible Character Guide. And I saw it there, and I was just like paging through it, and it's got all these characters alphabetical, and then basically it's like a superhero type thing. So it'll have the name, and then it'll tell a bunch of stuff about the character, like their relatives, when they were born, where you would find them in the Bible, strengths, weaknesses. And the way that it is designed, it reminds me of like Pokemon cards. And so like kids would love this if you wanted to get them interested in, finding out more information. And for me, I thought it was just a nice reference, like you could just alphabetically look up, if you hear something mentioned about a particular Bible character, you could find it in there. So I thought that was really cool. But two things, no comics. Here come the comics, okay? So if you watched any of my previous episodes, you saw that I've been to this place in Gallatin, Tennessee, called Old Town Records and Comics. And I went back there this weekend mistakenly because the first time or a previous time I was there, I guess it was the first time, the owner told me that he would be going to Indianapolis Comic Con, and I got the dates wrong. So I wanted to go there the week after he got back so I could see what he brought back. But instead, when I got there, he was going to leave that afternoon at 2:00 for a Sunday show. So he didn't have new stuff, but I found some stuff that I didn't see last time. And so I picked up a couple of things from him, and he's like, oh, I feel sorry that you drove all the way out from Chattanooga, thinking I would have new stuff. So he wound up giving me a great deal on this stuff. So the first thing I got was a pre-code horror from Ace, Baffling Mysteries. And I think this is issue number 8 or 9. And it's got this great cover with the yellow and the red up top, which really stands out. And then this guy was a sculptor. And I guess he was sculpting images of demons, and they were too accurate, so the demons came alive to take him out. Another comic I found at this place was Tippy Teen #5. And this thing is in really amazing condition. So Tippy Teen was Tower Comics' version of, the Archie gang. And later, Tippy, that blonde there, was used by Atlas Comics as their version of Archie in a 4-issue series called Vicky. And basically, they just took these comics and changed the name from Tippy to Vicky and reused them. But Tippy Teen #5, Tower Comics, these were thicker. I don't know if you can tell, but it's a square bound. And you can see the price up here is 25 cents. So while the other companies in the 60s were selling their comics for 12 cents, Tower was making larger comics, square bound, selling them for $0.25. And so these are kind of tough to find because they were, well, two reasons, I think. One, they have like dolls in there that you could cut out, right? Kind of like Katie Keene, those comic books. And then they were square bound, which, they don't really, when you see these square bounds, it's hard to find them in good shape. They're always torn along the edges and everything. So these things are kind of tough to find. I always pick them up. I probably have about 6 or 7 issues of Tippy Teen now. I always pick them up when I see them, and they're good prices. So I was really happy to get this one. And then the third comic I got at this place, like I said, I had already dug through this stuff, so there wasn't a lot, but he had this Captain D's Adventure magazine, issue #1. And this is from, I think it's from 1986, if I remember correctly. This was one of those magazines. Captain D's was a seafood restaurant, or is a seafood restaurant. It's still around. But do you ever remember going to any like restaurants as a kid, like Bob's Big Boy or something, and they would give you a comic book, and it would have like games in it and coloring things? Well, this was one of those. They would give these out at the Captain D's seafood restaurant, and so this one is like brand new. Nothing is used. It's in very, very high grade, and it's really cool. The back had this red, white, and blue. So that must have been 1986, right? The bicentennial. And what was cool about this was says it's in Nashville, Tennessee. So it's local. Now, I don't know if Captain D's is like the main office is in Nashville, Tennessee, or this restaurant was there. It's probably the main office, I'm guessing, the headquarters. But I found that, and he just threw that one in. So then the other place I hit when I go here is the antique mall to see Collect Company. And I went to their, high value boxes and dug through it again, because there was one in there that I didn't get last time, the first time I was there. Like I said, I had gotten up to the cash registers and found out if you spend a certain amount, it's 30% off. Well, I didn't know that when I was digging, and I thought it was too expensive. But with 30% off, it turned out to be a really good deal. But the first time I was there, I had blown all my money. So this time I did have the money, so I got that book. So I got 2 books there. The first one I got was The Amazing Spider-Man AIM Toothpaste Giveaway. And there were 2 of these. The first one was Green Goblin, and then there was the Doc Ock, and it's a cute comic. In it, you see Doc Ock like in the dentist, and the dentist is looking in his teeth and stuff. But really cool promo comic from Marvel. And then the one that I wanted to get last time, the first time I was at this store, but I had blown all my money, it was still there, and I wound up getting Tales of Suspense #42. And so this is is it the 4th appearance? 39, 40, 41, 42. Iron Man appeared in Tales of Suspense 39. So this is his 4th appearance. And that is the Red Barbarian. And so it's probably a anti-communist story, which I love. That's Jack Kirby cover. Stan Lee did the story, and I think Don Heck did the Iron Man art. And There's 2 or 3 stories in here. It's not all Iron Man. I know Larry Lieber did one of the other ones, but that was my big pickup this weekend, Tales of Suspense 42. Really happy to have that one. Then I'm continuing on the way home. I'm going through Dunlap, Tennessee, and there's this section in Dunlap that's kind of like a old town where there's like artsy stores and mom and pop things. And I always drive by there, but I got stuck at the traffic light and I looked to the left and I saw like a retro game place. And I was like, oh wow, that's cool. Retro games. I like those. And I was just looking to kill time. So I pulled down this street and there was 2 retro games. And one was a cafe, like a gaming cafe, and the other they were selling like used game, like Xbox games and Nintendo and all that. I'm gonna go in there because they may have like Funkos or something. So I went in there, and right inside the door was a stack of comics, and they're like, yeah, everything on there is $2. So I dug through all of them. There's about 100 comics there, and it was mostly nothing. But I did find a couple of comics I was interested in, and then I narrowed it down, and I got this one, which is the first issue of the Batman Strikes. I think it's from 2002 or 2004, but this is the Burger King giveaway variant of it. So I thought that was really cool. And it was only $2. So I snagged that. And then here are some other comics that I've gotten. I think most of these I got through eBay or IG, something like that. Here's Fightin' Marines #3. And Night Tiger turned me on to this one. Thanks, Mike. And these are the early Canteen Kate stories. She appeared in Fightin' Marines before she had her own title. And she was drawn by Matt Baker. So it's some beautiful art in there. That's Fightin' Marines #3. And this is All Surprise #3. And I think Mike told me about this one too. This one has been on my hunting list for quite a while, but it's always been way too expensive. And then Mike noticed this copy was a good price. So he told me, hey, there's that train cover. You might be interested. And I picked it up. It's really cool there with the Super Rabbit, the All Surprise Special, and that cool train. And then I found this Trip to Santa's circus comic. You can see it's pretty small. It was in really rough shape. It had a big bend right down the middle. And so I made a low offer on it, was accepted, and I took it and I pressed it. This could use a cleaning. This could use one of those cleanings like Jerry and Mike do, where they do it a soak. It's got some real dirt on it, but I was able to flatten it and it looks very presentable now. Couple more, and I got some. They're getting better and better. The next comic is Maisie #1. You can see it's a mini comic. This was by Nationwide Comics, and it's 52 pages. And this is the first appearance of Maisie in comic books. And she's kind of like, the Archie teen humor. And in later comics, the artwork became more, Archie-like. This is another copy of Maisie I have. This is an Australian reprint of that particular issue, Maisie. And you can see it looks more like Archie and the gang. So the next comic is Ellery Queen. This is Ellery Queen #4. Ellery Queen was a 4-issue series by Superior Comics. And now I have issues 2, 3, and 4. Issue #1 is very pricey. But I have issues 2, 3, and 4. Love this cover. And I love these Ellery Queen comics where, you get to follow along and see him solving the mystery. These are kind of tough to find, and I just want to give a shout out to Tyler from the Comic Couple on Instagram because he told me about an Instagram seller that was selling comics that I might like. And when I went over there, I found this one, and snagged it right up. And the guy was great. I think he's called That Comic Book Guy. And he sent it to me real quick and good communication. All right, so the final comic. This is a big one that I'm really excited to have. Um, I have been looking for this one since I saw Alan show it on his channel, Comic Collector Geek, and it is Crime Detective number 9. I think it's volume 1, number 9. Maybe I got that wrong. Maybe it's volume 9, number 1. I think it's volume 1, number 9. And I have been looking for this one for a while and have not had any luck. I've been looking at stores, conventions, online, and I finally found myself a copy of this. And this is a really, really nice high grade copy. There's the back. It's got this nice ad for that wallet. But what's very interesting about this is this guy right here. So Alan collects SOTI comics, S-O-T-I, Seduction of the Innocent. So there was this book written by Dr. Frederick Wortham, a psychologist, called Seduction of the Innocent, which basically said that certain comic books were corrupting the youth. And it's what led to the introduction of the Comics Code Authority and the Comics Code. And so that right there is a caricature of Dr. Wortham. And so this is a fairly sought after comic, I guess. I haven't, it's low on the census. I think there's only 5 or 10 on the CGC census. So it's kind of tricky to find. So I finally found myself a copy. I made a offer, and the guy, I bought some stuff from him before, and he said, I don't, the prices are kind of set, but I'll knock off $100. So I got this for a good price. After I got it, 2 copies popped up on eBay, and the one is like a 1.8, really beat up. And the other, I think, was a 4.5 or a 5.0, which is they're listing for like $2,500, which is way more than I paid for this one. So really excited to have that one. So that's my haul. What do you think? Which were the good ones there? Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.